How are you? It's Tuesday. I'm excited. I'm freezing, so I'm in a poncho. Sorry about that, but oh, it's so cold. Thanks to my beautiful sister for this lovely Christmas present. Um, so happy you're here. Let's get into it today. We've got some exciting topics. And just before I start, I just want to thank everyone who, and I hope you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, just let me know because I'm on a mic. I'm using my headphones today. But thank you to everyone that reached out to me last week who really enjoyed the training with our guest speaker, Crystal Mitski. If you missed it, go back and check it out because there is an awesome audio training that goes with it, and the link is still there. But I just wanted to say thank you because it was the first time that I did that, and I had some technical difficulties at first, so started the 2-minute mark. But no, it was great. I'm really glad that you all had some good stuff out of that. So today's training, we're talking about stronger values equals better decisions. Sorry, I'm just distracted. Okay, so if you're logging in live, give me a hashtag live. If you're on replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if you're new to this series, then give me a hashtag newbie because I always like to say hello. So I'm here every week. And like I said, we are talking about values today. Hey, Katie. Okay, so values. I'm not sure if you guys realize this or not, but your values are key to your life fulfillment. And just so you guys know, I'm looking at my notes because I put everything in I was creating this training yesterday and today, so I've got lots of stuff to get through, so forgive me for looking at my notes because I don't want to miss anything. So the reason that they're key is because they help us decide and make choices that are aligned to our true self and what we truly want. I spend quite a bit of time in my mentorship program talking about this in our first module. So if you are enrolled, you may have heard some of this already. Of course, we go into much more detail in the mentorship, but I think it's really important because your values are foundational to your growth and development and your ability to make better decisions. And I'm going to tell you why. But this is really going to help you if you are a high achiever who is struggling with self-doubt, who feels like, if you feel like you're not good enough or you're not making the right choices or, whatever you're doing isn't working, then, this training is really going to help you. So let's get on the same page and let's talk about just what values are. So values are your core beliefs. What you believe are important to the way you live and the way you work. They're what I like to call deal breakers. They help us decide what's important. They help us prioritize what's important. And when things that you do and the way you behave align or match with your values, the chances are that you're in a good place, like in life in general. It's when you're not doing those things or behaving in a way that matches your values. That's when, you start to feel inner conflict. That's when the self-doubt comes in. That's when, all these feelings like, oh, I can't do that, or, I don't have the skills to do that. I should just stay where I am. These are where all these fears come through. So how can values help? How can values help you make better decisions? So whether you know this or not, whether you think they exist or not, values exist right here, right now. Even if I were to ask you what your values are and you have like, I don't know, you have values. And let's think of this example. Like if you do not value competition, yet you work in a highly competitive sales environment, do you think that you're going to be satisfied in your job? And you can type yes or no in the comments. There's no right or wrong answer, but the likelihood is that you're probably not going to feel that fulfilled. You're probably not going to like what you're doing because you don't value competition. So it's these situations where values can really help you decide and make a decision in terms of what direction to go through. And better yet, when you have your priorities that are prioritized, because sometimes, let's face it, life gives us really challenging situations, really challenging problems, and we're all great problem solvers, but sometimes it's like the difference between, guess what, your value can come in there and help you make that decision that much easier, rather than listing out pros and cons, which definitely are good to do as well. So it's like it's giving yourself the ability to make better decisions along the lines of like, should I take that job? Should I stick to my guns, or should I like compromise a little bit? Should I follow down this path that I've been going down, or should I switch gears? These are where your values can really help you make effective, really good decisions. Okay, and I will say that as you grow, as you learn, as you experience, your definition of success will change and your values will change. So what I want to do next is walk you through 7 steps that you can take to get super, super clear on your values, so that you can make better decisions that really align with what makes you feel fulfilled. And fulfillment to me is that joie de vivre, that, oh my God, I'm so excited that life is amazing. I'm on cloud 9 and nothing can bring me down. That's that feeling. I love helping people find that feeling again. So now you know what values are, and now you know how they can be useful in terms of making better decisions, but in general, let's talk about those 7 steps. So grab a pen and a piece of paper if you don't have one already, and let's go. Okay, so step 1, identify the times when you were most happy. Most happy. So ask yourself things like, what were you doing? Who was I with? What else was happening in my life that made me feel so happy? Okay, so do that. Step 2, identify the times when you felt most proud. So why did you feel proud? Who was there with you? Were they proud as well? If so, who were they? What other factors, I'm not sure if you can see a pattern here, but what other factors were going on that made you feel so proud? Okay. Step 3, identify the times when you felt most fulfilled. So what was it that made you feel like that? How and why did that experience make you feel fulfilled? Why did it have meaning for you? What else were you doing in your life? So once you have those 3, let's move on to step 4. Step 4 is determine your top values based on your experience of happiness, pride, and fulfillment. So you're going to go back to those first three things that you did, And look for things that keep coming up for you in terms of values. Is it trust? Things like family oriented, happiness, joy. Like there's so many values. So just do a whole list. Like, don't hold anything back. If you have a list of 100, if you have a list of 10, like, don't worry about it. There's no right or wrong. Just really just let loose and just write down everything that you value in life, in work, personal experience. That's why writing those experiences in terms of when you felt most happy, proud, fulfilled, those are going to give you a really good base to go to review, to reflect, and really think about the values that were true, or that came up for you, and think about them now too, like in your life right now. Okay, so write them all down until you're satisfied that you've written down every single value that you value. Okay, so step 5. This is where I want you to group everything that you wrote. So group in whatever logical sense that it makes to you. So group your values that you came up with. So for example, you might have balance, health, and spirituality in one group. And you may have abundance, growth, wealth, security, freedom. You might have that in another group. So just group them in terms of like, okay, these go together. Yeah, these go together. So do that. That's step 5. Okay, so step number 6. So this is the hardest step, I'm not going to lie. It's prioritizing your list, prioritizing your values. So when you make a decision, when it comes time to like pick a choice, it will be easier if you know what your values are and the priority that they are. Because like I said in the beginning, you may be faced with problems, challenges that are, that may, that may touch different values. So if you value family more than you value freedom, then you're gonna make the decision that's best for the family, if that makes sense. Here's another example. If you value freedom, but you have to work in a 9-to-5 or a job that doesn't leave room for much freedom, do you think you're going to be like, do you think you're going to have internal stress and internal conflict over? So this is where your prioritization, your values, knowing exactly top 1 to 5. And let me just throw out the question right now. Like if I were to ask you guys to grab a pen and a paper and tell me your top 5 values right now, would you be able to? It's okay if you're not, because I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do this a few years ago, let alone like 2 years ago. Like it's, it's stuff that we learn and we implement and apply. And so that's what we're here to do. So I want you to take, I want you to make sure you only have 5 groups. So remember back in step 5, I told you to group all of your values. Well, just make sure you have 5 groups. So if you have like 10 groups, then drop 5 or relocate 5, but just keep it simple. I'm not saying that you can't have more than 5 values. I'm just saying it really helps to just really get clear and pinpoint what those 5 are. So, so you have your groups. You've got your 5 groups, and you're going to pick one word in each of those groups that represents, your favorite, or the one that calls out to you the most, or the one that you believe, the one that's a deal breaker for you out of all the other ones in the group. take your time with it. Don't overthink it, but just, you know, trust that what you're feeling as your values are what they are. Okay, so last step, number 7. In this last step, I want you to do some reflection. I want you to sit with your values. I want you to consider, do they make you feel good? Are you proud of your top 3? Would you want to share them from the rooftop, no matter what? If you are comfortable in sharing, I'd love for you to come into my Life Fulfillment Academy community, where we have tons of fun. We talk about all these different strategies. There's a 10-day self-care challenge going on right now. We're on to 2. So I'd love to see you there. But or you can drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments below. If you're watching on the replay, I always check the comments. So I'll answer any questions that you have about the process or anything like that, or this activity. So I guess in closing, like when you consider your values in decision making, you're gonna have a sense of integrity. You're gonna have a sense of, yes, this is right. This is the right decision because these are core to my beliefs. And remember, beliefs can change at any time. They're not fact. This is why it's good to do this exercise regularly. The beginning of the year is perfect. If you haven't done this already, or if you haven't done this in a while, I would definitely go back, go through the steps and come up with your own list of values and see how much of a difference it makes. So yeah, because you'll be able to approach decisions with clarity and confidence when you know your values. I didn't want to miss that part. So to recap, your personal values are a central part of who you are and what you truly want. When you're more aware of your values, you can use them as a guide to make better decisions and make better choices. And lastly, you know, using your values as a strong guiding point. They're going to really help you make better decisions, and you're going to feel so much better about it. Just even reflecting back on the examples that we touched upon. So that's it for tonight, or today, or this morning, wherever and whenever you're calling from or joining us from. I do have a few spots in my calendar next week that I'm opening up. So if anyone wants to talk to me about my mentorship program or how I might be able to help you as a coach, give me a call. I will drop a link after the video. But other than that, have yourself an amazing day, an amazing evening, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.